We do.
All right.
All right.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Good morning, and I will call this regular school board meeting of Independent School District number 544 to order. And with that, I'll ask the clerk to do a quorum, please.
Okay. Kirby Anderson.
Here.
Kelly Graff. Jenny Christensen.
Present.
Missy Hermes, present. Melanie Cole.
Present.
Stephen Vigasa. We have a quorum.
All right, thank you. Is there a motion to approve our agenda?
I'll motion.
I'll second that.
All right, any discussion there? All in favor of approving, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. All right, the agenda is approved, and we'll do a resolution on acknowledgements, and I'd like to thank American Legion Post 30 for their donation to the upcoming music trip at Kennedy Secondary School. Thank Mary Pettit for her donation to the Twisted Pen activity at Kennedy Secondary School. Kreckelberg Law Firm, Lakes Area Docks and Lifts also donated to the upcoming music trip. And thank you to West Central Initiative for their donation of a Dairyland gift card for the end of the year celebration at the Area Learning Center. So thank you to all those parties. I will offer this resolution, move for its adoption. And is there a second?
I'll second that.
Oh, take Kirby's.
Okay, all right. Any discussion? All right, clerk, if you go ahead.
Yep. Kirby Anderson.
Yes.
Jenny Christensen.
Yes.
Missy Hermes, yes. Melanie Cole.
Yes.
The resolution is adopted.
All right, thank you. And we'll move right into our board reports where we start with our special ed director. Good morning, Nancy.
Good morning.
Thanks for coming in bright and early.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Well, we made it to May. I'm just so excited. First year as the new director of special education. I am very proud of the work we've done, and I want to thank the board. I wanted to thank Superintendent Drake for your support this year. It's meant a lot, and we've made some really great progress that I want to share with you today. I also want to thank the administrative teams in all the buildings. We had a lot of learning to do. You know, how do we balance a new leader in the district and figuring those things out? But the building principals were awesome to work with. The teachers across the district, the families, and of course the students are just a joy. So, great year. We do have our positions filled for fall, which is super exciting in special education. The pool for new employees is sometimes challenging, and right now we look pretty good. So far we haven't been able to completely fill the DHH teacher position, but we are able to fill 8 hours a week, which I'm super excited about, which will be a huge help to our teachers this year.
Just a quick interruption.
Yes.
Hard of hearing?
Yes, what did I say?
Oh, DHH, but.
Oh, deaf,
just-
hard of hearing.
Deaf,
Oh, okay.
Just wanted to clarify for the public.
Yes.
You couldn't hear it.
Oh.
Oh, my ear was just.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There it
It's early.
is, yeah.
Thanks.
Well, and get rolling, and could said something. Deaf, hard of hearing teacher, so we're excited to have her. Another celebration this year, we did just review all of our restrictive procedures, which is an important piece for the district to monitor closely. Mm-hmm. Again, that's always a very last resort. Thank you.
You got it.
It's early. It's early. I'm nervous for some reason. Anyway, down 57% from last year, 55 holds this year, 24, which is very significant, and it's so awesome to celebrate. Programming has been going really well. A big change this year, we're adding the 3 school psychs, our occupational therapists, and a certified occupational therapy assistant, speech pathologist, and our 4 early childhood special education teachers. All of that staff, I think the district has felt a huge difference having them all in Fergus Falls. Really has had a very positive impact. We've completed just under 200 comprehensive evaluations on students this year. That includes 3-year reevaluations and initial assessments. Our Birth to 3 program is going well. That was a big addition and lots of learning, and thanks to Julie Domino for leading that. Our assistant director has really done well. We also started the year with 7 new special education teachers, 2 of them at IQ and 5 in the district. I think we also benefited from the concentrated training that they received this year, monthly meetings, supporting them, working on the due process paperwork. That's been great. And then we had some consultative services from a physical therapist and an autism consultant, which was very impactful. Still had DAPE services, and then our Setting 3 program, which I'll talk a little bit more about. Some interesting, so as a special ed person, data, I think tells lots of interesting stories. And so just looking at some of the data and trends in our school district, so this is our December 1 child count, which are the students identified with disabilities that are actually Fergus Falls residents. And so these students are enrolled in our school district, but also could be open enrolled in other districts. And so the trend from 2021, we had 456 students living in our resident district, and in 2024, we had 566 students living in our resident district. That compared to the actual number of students we serve is different. Because of the IQ Academy, we also have students open enrolled from actually all over the state of Minnesota, but also some open enrolled students from area districts as well. In October, we had 654 students that we were serving in our district. Here in May, we had 699. At the peak, I will say, at the peak in February, March, we were over 700. So declining because of IQ, end of the year goes down. So I said I would like to also share some challenges this year. The IQ Academy child count and enrollment really bounced around a lot for special education. We started the year with 161 students with disabilities and ended the year with 195. However, that doesn't really draw the whole picture. Throughout the year, we had 254 special education students enroll and 221 withdraw. It's just a roller coaster. At our peak was 240 students at IQ, and that happens when other virtual schools close in March or February, and then we end up getting quite a few additional students. So I really look forward to doing some data analysis on all of the last 3 slides of where that trend data comes from and why those things happen. So the Setting 3 program was huge this year. A big addition, I do want to say McKenna Peterson and Carrie Trepka did a really great job. This year, McKenna served 10 students, grades K through 4. 8 of those students are participating in mainstream time and some significant amounts of mainstream time. Carrie Trepka also served 10 students this year. 2 of them have moved to either different programs or different towns. And then 6 are currently mainstreamed. 3 of those 6 are full-time. So that's great. They kind of worked their way out of that Setting 3 classroom. Things that we've really worked hard on this year for the Setting 3 program include we've been working on refining the application process. Some of those applications got really thick and we do require quite a bit of data, quite a bit of information to enter that classroom. We're working on enhancing our mental health supports for that program this year. We're finalizing a Setting 3 handbook right now. Julie and I are about halfway through getting that done. I think that's important for us to really standardize the program and the way things are run in that program. And then also working on standardizing behavior data collection so that we're grades K through 4, comparing similar data to 5 through 8. We're excited for ESY to start on Monday, a week from today. There will be 15 mornings in June and July. We're going to be located here at Kennedy Secondary School in Lincoln. We have 53 students enrolled, 6 certified staff, which include teachers, and then also some of the ECSE team that Birth to 3 continues throughout the year, and 2 speech pathologists. Looking ahead to next year, so One of the things that we needed to develop was our total special education system, which is a very long manual of all the reasons, mostly our policies and procedures on how we do things like restrictive procedures, child find, those types of things. We're working on finalizing and updating that. We're working on developing the special education work-based learning experiences here at Kennedy. Still super excited about those expansions. Also, this year we have some additional space for special education here at Kennedy, and then enhancing the early childhood programs for fall. And this summer, Julie and I are working really hard on some staff development and really beefing that up for next year too. I found as I reflect back on the year, communication and training is really the key. So that's great. So, any questions?
So cool. I just envision a really big house being built, and you laying the foundation still,
Yeah,
right?
for
and
sure.
We haven't got to the decorations yet, but I'm just so impressed with your grasp on everything that needs to happen, and digging in for the hard stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
Thank
so
you.
thank you.
Yeah.
I wondered a couple of things. One is with the IQ Academy and just the nature of that transitional nature. Kind of a Jeff Drake question. Are we obligated to offer special ed through IQ? Because it seems like that, it's my experience, working alongside a lot of those families, that it is just not a virtual process. So, I don't know, what's the thought on that, either one of you?
I can answer that because I called MDE just to have a discussion with them about it. As the director of special ed, it's my job to ensure that all students in the district are getting an appropriate education. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I question, as a team, we make recommendations based on, well, no, I don't question this. As a team, we always make recommendations based on what's most appropriate for our students. Sometimes we have students enroll at IQ that I think, is this the most appropriate? And as a team, how do we recommend what's most appropriate when they're sitting at home, when they need hand-over-hand instruction or some of those pieces? And MDE made it very clear we are obligated to educate every child that enrolls at IQ. And so we have to figure that out. We did add DCD teachers last year and one for fall to ensure that we're doing that. So, developmental cognitively delayed teachers.
Right.
Well, then maybe that flips over to management. Can we alter our contract with IQ Academy and have a different school district that might be doing more of these in mass, you know what I mean, an IQ school that specializes in special ed, rather than us carrying an outsized responsibility for a small population. So could we rewrite our contract with IQ and pass that off?
So I would say the answer would be no, because IQ is considered a public school district within us, then the only way that you could do it would be to essentially say you're closing enrollment, which would then lock it down for basically everything. I
For
think.
everybody. We can
And we have
only,
talked about doing that in the past, like a March 30th,
Yeah, we
a
do.
later
We do
date
have
than
a
other
date.
districts.
yeah, they do close in March. And so we close our enrollment in March, but another academy closed theirs in February. And so we, at one point, we're 25% students with disability, which is way above the state average, and with disabilities, and so those students enrolled with us. The only way we can do that is if we close enrollment for everyone, and we have to stay open for all.
And does IQ offer any support whatsoever for special ed? Do they?
Like support to you? No?
Well, they pay, they pay a portion of our teachers. They pay
Yeah.
for some of that
But no,
support.
like actual,
They provide some of
curriculum
the
or-
curriculum, yep. No, there's the online pieces of curriculum that they do
Okay.
provide. Mhm. And I do meet monthly with a cohort of special ed directors that all serve online schools. And there isn't one that exists that does only special ed. And we're all working on those same things. How to best serve these kids, helping with evaluation, for example, process.
Right.
Evaluating a student with a speech disorder.
Right. And does that
Virtually.
follow them to the next Okay, so they, like you say, they maybe change to a different district, and that follows them?
Right, and so our IEP, now written for a virtual school, follows them back to their brick and mortar school.
Oh.
So when we write those IEPs, like we have consultative occupational therapy. Well, a student may need direct special ed
Right.
occupational therapy services. And so we do have a statement in the IEP upon return to brick and mortar, the team should consider to make sure those pieces don't get dropped off and students do continue to receive the services they need
Yeah.
in their brick and
Well,
mortar schools.
and I just want to make a clarifying statement in case it's confusing to the public maybe or whatever, but your onboarding process is so intense, the paperwork is so significant, that to have that many kids just turn over, it's really phenomenal.
Yeah,
Wow.
our case managers have done such a great job. Some of them have written over 50 IEPs this year. Our evaluation team, and then they come in and need a 3-year reevaluation. Our evaluation team has evaluated more students this year than ever before with IQ too. So, those things have to continue to happen.
Yeah,
And they've done a good
okay.
job.
Well,
So-
thanks for those explanations. I had another one.
Yeah,
Work-based learning.
yeah.
So for the older students, how many kids or young adults are we serving in that program?
Well, 18 to 22 for fall, there's 5.
Okay.
But then also Lisa Miller has 2 full periods a day of work-based learning classes that she's
Okay.
teaching as well.
Okay.
And then out on site's 1 period a day. So.
Okay.
And that enrollment, I'm not sure, she and I met last week, but
Yeah, I remember that from the co-op, that the sparsity of numbers made it hard to.
right. So the 18 to 22 programming is really us working on developing that. What it's been in the past has been pretty small, and so we're just really starting to build some of that experience. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'll stop now after this. The reduced number of holds, really, I didn't want to interrupt you a second or a millionth time, but that's so phenomenal.
It's awesome. I'm really proud of so we've expanded our training. I think I've shared this before. The UCARU training is a trauma-based training, working on trauma-based de-escalation. So just really recognizing where the kids in our district are coming from when it comes to behavior is so important, and
Yeah.
something we want to continue to offer and expand. That's made a huge difference. And then, part of that is a system of using pads when students get physically aggressive rather than putting our hands on them. So it's really, and I think it's also, and I don't have the data to support this, but, reducing staff injury, being able to do that is helpful too, so.
Win, win, win.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for the extra attention we need to.
Good.
All right, we'll move on to board reports, and we have Kirby Anderson.
Yes.
Yeah, Kirby.
The Finance Committee did meet on Wednesday, May 14th, and I'm not going to go into all the details of that meeting because Renee presented the bulk of what we talked about at our last board meeting. And I'm guessing we'll have another Finance Committee meeting if the legislature ever finishes up their special session and comes to some kind of agreement. On the 544 Foundation, we have not met since my last report. We will be meeting this Thursday, June 12th at noon. I would just like to make mention of, got an email last night to the foundation from John Steinbrenner, and I'm going to second his opinion. It says, just a quick note here to thank the 544 Foundation for the improved sound and lights in the auditorium. With the dance show this week, I was able to experience the new system, and it is a dramatic improvement. Thanks to you and the rest of the foundation board members for your continued investment of time and effort. And I was also at the dance, and it's quite an improvement. So it's good to hear. So that's my short and sweet reports.
Okay.
Nice.
Good.
All right, the Minnesota State High School League met on June 3rd, and they approved their glossary, interpretation, and board policies to include the 9th grade governance. They also clarified language regarding alumni participation. to ensure that student participants are not violating bylaw leagues. I do have that here if anybody's interested in reading it. It essentially just says that they basically need to just be competing against other students to stay compliant within league bylaws. They also reviewed some winter activity advisories that they had proposed in their last meeting and actually voted on it. So for debate, they have approved congressional debate session structure, congressional debate tiebreakers, and new evidence rules to update for modern technology. For Nordic ski, they did not approve any of the proposals, and those included code of conduct, increased number of ski pursuit qualifiers, and video reviews. For wrestling, they approved an additional half day to the state tournament, so that will now start on Wednesday afternoon. And then an additional weight class, or weight classes, I should say, for sub-junior varsity levels. So they added 100 pounds, 94 pounds, and 88 pounds. They did not approve classification adjustments for that in the wrestling approvals. They also clarified member school program limitations, so they wanted to make it clear that member schools may not have a Minnesota State High School League sponsored team and a national traveling team in the same sport, so you can only have the one. I guess there were some schools that were having both. They also approved a policy to clarify language regarding coaches' education requirements. For their next meeting, they added the discussion items that they will be voting on for the next meeting will be their preliminary budget, membership dues and activity fees, speech season book and topics, football replay policy, and dance team rules. Their next meeting will be on July 8th, and we did not have an activities meeting, so that's all I got for you.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, for my board reports, we didn't have move to confer. We did have our Region 1 board meeting, and I'm looking at my phone today. Took a picture of the agenda. We hired Eric Heidemann to be the new director. I just glossed over it in one report, but we had hired Taylor Jones, who lasted from December to March, and then just didn't come back to work. Not really from what we've gleaned, not really the job responsibilities as a reason for leaving. I believe it was something else, but, so Eric was our second candidate. Bob Wheeler stepped back in to run the store till we could find an adequate or optimal replacement. Eric came out nice in the initial rounds of interviews, and so we have hired him starting last Monday. And then from there, we just talked about the usual business stuff, reviewed the budget. There's a process where we just go through it for each meeting for what percentage, and if we're on track, and he hasn't really got that locked down. Internally, while Bob was back, he worked on restructuring that synergy support group. Thought that maybe that hadn't been optimal lately, and so he did some work on that. And then he speaks routinely about the schools onboarding. Region 1 consistently gets districts from coming onto our system from other areas because they're not getting the service that they want. So that's something that keeps the budget flowing. The budget's at is really pretty healthy. $4 million fund balance. So for a small entity, it's always got enough money to run and give decent raises. So, but other than that, what else? We got Bob still on doing the Northwest Links reimbursement, and we added a couple meetings with the new guy. We didn't want to have things go sideways. So we're gonna stay a little more tightly knit this time, and that's about it. All right. Any questions on that? Okay. Missy?
Okay, curriculum review did not meet, or does not meet again until October, but remember that in May, the board approved the new social studies curriculum, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. That will arrive in time for the next school year, I hope. And then the policy committee, I expect will be meeting, I would like to have them meet before we have our board retreat. And the MSBA does not project that there will be nearly as many policy changes or updates this year as there have been the past 2 summers, or a lot. But hopefully we'll have more guidance on a cell phone policy. And we have the potential to look at the dress code policy too. Okay?
2 very exciting topics.
Woo!
That's why I ran for board, guys.
Any questions from Ms. Hermes? All right, Superintendent Drake.
All right. Well, good morning.
Good morning.
I am going to pinch hit for Mary on the top end of the report with the community ed end of year update. And you have her full report in front of you. I'm just going to go through a few highlights. First of all, Fergus Falls Community Ed reaches over 19,000 people in our area via direct mailing, etc., brochures, classes, services, and other programs. Each year, over 47 community agencies work collaboratively with the Fergus Falls Community Education in co-sponsoring a number of events. Community Ed offers a variety of classes that aid in economic development by preparing people for the workforce. Examples are computer classes, starting your own daycare, child passenger safety class, heart saver and pediatric, full and refresher. And appreciate all the work with water safety, lifeguard training, etc. The county does its scuba certification in our pool. So really supporting a lot of agency work out in the region. Parents Forever has been offered through Community Ed for 28 years, one of the original pilot sites. Last year, we offered 18 classes or events for adults with disabilities. So really pleased to see that work going on. Then a couple of final notes. During the 2024-25 school year, 240 students completed District 544 driver's education classroom and 200 completed behind the wheel. And then finally, in conjunction with 544 Foundation, Adopt a Class, 59 Fergus Falls businesses adopt an elementary classroom. And just an acknowledgement of the generosity of our community in sponsoring those. They make a big difference in augmenting the educational experience our students receive in the classroom. And just an acknowledgement of the leadership Mary has in community ed and her hard work. The general public probably has little idea of the number of hours Mary serves, making sure rooms are available for evening classes, weekend work. And so she is just a stalwart maroon and gold supporter and real advocate for our district and our community. And thanks also to Amy, who works in that office as well.
Mm-hmm. Right, even getting us into the Roosevelt Center when we needed to expand and have a larger space. Mary made that happen.
Fast, friendly, and flexible.
Yes.
Yep.
That's MM for you.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Then I will transition into my report. Want to thank the staff for a great year. I was at a whirlwind pace due to another commitment at the last meeting, but whenever I had 40 to 50 slides of accomplishments that we can be very proud of this year, and many more that didn't make the slide list. And then at the end of the year, we had a number of classroom changes. So the staff stayed, well not stayed, they were here, but were assisting with moving and boxing up the stuff, which made a huge difference. for our custodial department in lessening the workload of the classroom changes. And by all accounts, the staff was absolutely fantastic in helping each other out and making that, many hands making light work of that. Then some congratulatory notes. Congratulations to our 2025 Otter High School graduates, Fergus Falls High School graduates. Wonderful ceremony. I want to thank Principal Anderson and his staff for all the planning and preparation for that event, the orchestra, band, and choir for the music, the speakers, and obviously the bleachers were full, the chairs were full, so a wonderful turnout for that, and thanks also to the board. Just clearing up a little bit of maybe public confusion about the event. Our graduation ceremony is intended to honor and recognize those students who have met all credit requirements in fulfilling our high school diploma. And so we can have students that have spent 13 years in our district but maybe a credit or two short of their diploma requirements. So we do not recognize them at that event. The event is for those that have completed all requirements, and so it is a way to honor and recognize them for their achievement. To give them one last thank you for the contributions they have made to our school and wish them well in all future endeavors. So appreciate again the community showing up and supporting our students as they enter into a new phase of their life, and wish them well. A couple pieces. Adam Kennedy is heading to state, and in fact I think that starts today, AA state golf tournament. The Otters finished 4th as a team, Otter boys, and then Adam was tied for 8th place, which qualified him for the individual state tournament. I know we have a number of track qualifiers. We've had a really nice track season, but I haven't seen the list of who has qualified for the state meet yet. That's June 12th, 10th through the 12th, and I'll update the board on that with results at the next board meeting. Cassie Wellman, who we've heard about through her cross-country running state qualifications for a number of years now, set a new school record in the 3,200 meters, so congratulations to Cassie. Jaden Miller has had a phenomenal spring, both as an individual runner and also as part of various relays. He set a new school record. I think he owned it already, but set another school record in the 1,600 meter. And then we have conference champions on the girls' side in the 4x800 relay.
Wow.
And conference champions on the boys' side in the 4x800 relay. So congratulations to both of those teams. Some updates on building and grounds. So we are spraying, and we, by statute, are required to notify the public when we do our spraying. So that is June 8th through the 15th. And then this is a stock photo, but we have started bathroom renovations in Cleveland and KSS. I want to thank the staff for their flexibility. And we had some water shut off while the staff was still working. It was temporary, and we knew that was coming, but to do some of the plumbing work with the bathroom renovations. A couple of events or announcements to make. We have our summer campus meal program, so thanks to Lance and his staff for that. Families are able to sign up and pick up meals that they can prepare and serve at home. And so the font's a little small, but people can look up on our Facebook site or contact the school for information on how to sign up for that program. And then we have the district newsletter, and I want to thank Ashton in the district office for all her work and the contributions of our program directors and principals for their contributions to the newsletter. Really nice publication highlighting many of the opportunities that students have in our district. And then just a reminder to the public, we certainly are very willing to have new students enroll and welcome them. And so if families are interested in enrolling in the district, they can contact the office for a tour. and then learn more about what Fergus Falls Public Schools has to offer. A couple additional thank yous. I do want to thank Nancy Reard for her leadership in special ed. And I want to acknowledge the board's fearless leadership in going down some roads together. This was not a small decision to leave the co-op after many, many years of being affiliated with them. But there is no doubt in my mind that despite the learning that's taken place along the way, that this was the right decision for our district and for our students and families. So I just want to say thanks for your bravery and belief and support as we venture down a new path, which I think is already demonstrated increased success and service to our students. So thank you to Nancy, thank you to Julie and the staff for all their help and support. Also, we started our reading transition a couple of years before the state mandated it through the READ Act. And, the work that's been going on with Amelia, Courtney Anderson, and our ADSYS team has really started to bear fruit. We'll have more data for you as the spring unfolds. Amelia is working on some reports right now, but the results have been very, very promising on our interventions and the impact that they're having on our students. And that includes our students that have dyslexia as well. We've started a new curriculum for those that is shown to be very promising and effective, so appreciate that. And then lastly, again, I just want to thank the staff for a great year. We've had a lot going on as usual. It's a busy place, but a lot to be very, very proud of. And can turn it over to any questions. Thank you.
We have, next on the agenda are general consent items, including the minutes for the May 27th board meeting, and bills and treasurer's report.
I am going to start with the treasurer's report. Currently, we are sitting at our end balance at 27 million, 26 million without the construction fund. Renee did want me to make a point that while it does seem like, we are sitting above what we should be, we do have a reconciliation payment that will be due to Stride in November. So just keeping in mind that, there's a very, very large check that will be coming out not until the end of the year. So we are sitting at 22 million in the general fund, 1 million in food service, 320,000 in community ed, 1 million in construction. Keeping in mind too that we are still going to be hopefully transferring about half of that over into the general fund. Renee wants to wait until the end of the year to do so because she does want to include all of that into the audit. Just all of the different receipts and everything that are going, she just figured that would be beneficial to us to wait until the end of the year to do so. 2 million in debt service, 115,000 in the trust, and 340,000 in activities. We did have a couple large receipts that came through, including 3.2 million in educational aid and 2.7 million in the tax levy. And yeah, that is where we are sitting for the treasurer's report. Moving on to bills. We had about 900,000 in bills coming out during this period. 362,000 of that were for payroll. We did see our final for the school year, our final bus invoice paid at 230,000. There is about 105,000 left in that budget, budgeted for busing. However, there still will be some summer busing that we will be doing. So. We did also see a large $31,000 fundraising payment for the Hawaii trip come through. Activity fees for track, speech, softball, tennis, FFA, cross country, and golf. Various utility bills coming out, including from the city and Otter Tail Power, grad invoices paid. Saw about $34,000 in curriculum. 8.5 thousand in the READ Act for the Dival screener coming out. We also saw 13,000 for HVAC and floor scrubber expenses. Again, just reminding everybody that it does take money to keep the buildings up and running. Yeah, that's about it for bills too.
All right, very good. We have some personnel items to review, including hiring Peter Phillips as a ALC social studies teacher. We had a certified staff resignation from Hannah Herzog at IQ. We have retirement from Kimberly Kamrowski, elementary teacher at Cleveland, at the end of this school year. And then support staff resignations include Kim Berg McGowan, Nicole White, and Deanne Preston on a variety of support roles. And then an individual contract for approval for Leah Starzl, the educational interpreter. So with that.
What's an educational interpreter?
Sign language.
Sure. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. May I have a motion to approve these?
I'll make that motion.
All right, and a second?
I'll second.
All right, and any discussion? All right, hearing no discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. All right, that's approved. And looking for a motion to approve a revision to the 25-26 IQ Academy calendar. This is to adjust the graduation date as we did for the bricks and mortar school here. Is there someone who will make that motion?
I will, I'll make that motion.
And a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. All right, thank you, that's approved. And I have a resolution on the retirement of Kimberly Kamrowski. Whereas Kimberly Kamrowski began her employment with Fergus Falls Public Schools in August 1992. And whereas Kimberly has been a valued employee for Fergus Falls Public Schools for the past 33 years, whereas Kimberly has been a dedicated teacher for the district, and now therefore be it resolved by the Fergus Falls School Board to thank Kimberly Kamrowski for her 33 years of service to Fergus Falls Public Schools. Will someone offer that resolution and move for its adoption?
I will offer that resolution.
All right, and I'll second that. And is there any discussion? All right, clerk, will you please take roll?
Yes, Kirby Anderson.
Yes.
Jenny Christensen.
Yes.
Missy Hermes, yes. Melanie Cole.
Yes.
The resolution is adopted.
All right, thank you. The next agenda item is a proposal to approve a food program contract for vended meals with Children's Corner effective September 2nd through the next school year to June 10th. Would someone make a motion to approve that contract?
A motion.
All right, and a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor of approving, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. All right, I'm looking for a motion to approve awarding a bed grid to Pan Gold. Estimated amount $20,848. Someone make that motion?
I make that motion.
And is there a second?
I'll second that.
All right, any discussion?
Not really discussion, just questioning, because Bimbo's right here, why don't they fight harder for this contract, right? Just seems strange to me. So.
Any other thoughts, discussion? All right, all in favor of approving, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. All right, looking for approval of a letter of engagement with I. Bailey for fiscal year 25 financial audit services. Would someone make that motion?
So move.
And a second?
I'll second.
All right, any discussion? All in favor of approving, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. All right. Next item is a fiscal 20-year membership with Minnesota School Board Association, so MSBA and policy services. Would someone make a motion to approve paying for that?
I make that motion.
And a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion on that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. All right, that's approved, and looking for a motion in regard to the commercial insurance policy package through EMC Insurance for a total estimated cost of $250,000, $966 for the 25-26 fiscal year. And we need to go on record to reject the terrorism risk insurance coverage. Would someone move to engage in that contract?
So move.
And a second?
I'll second.
All right, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. And then, last item of business for this morning, looking for a motion to approve the annual membership with Lakes Country Service Co-op for the next fiscal year. Jeff, do you happen to know the cost of that off the top of your head?
Oh, that's right here.
Okay, thank you. Let's just get that in motion because we have found that having the actual number.
Sorry.
I missed it in our cut, but it's a good idea.
Total membership is $6,500.
Okay, thank you for that. So, would someone make that motion?
I'll motion.
All right, and second?
I'll second.
Any discussion there? All in favor of approving, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. All right, that is also approved. We just have a very short work session to talk about what we're gonna talk about when we meet in July for half a day. And then our next regular board meeting, June 23rd at 7:15. Would someone offer a motion to adjourn?
So move.
And a second?
Second.
All right, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. All right, it is approved. We are adjourned. Thank you for coming this morning. Appreciate it.